Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Jay and welcome to the channel, and welcome back to October Lake in Planet Zoo, a series where we're building this really large park situated in the Canadian Highlands, and today we're going to be completing our tropical house build, well kind of, and if that sounds good to you, please do consider liking the video if you did like today's video, and of course do subscribe for more Planet Zoo content. Now that I've got the intro out of the way, let us talk about what exactly it is we're going to be doing today. So, like I just said, we are going to be completing the tropical house for the most part. There's not going to be a big habitat today. We're just focusing primarily on these little exhibits that you can see on screen right now. I'm going to be including a couple different snake species. We've got the boa constrictor and of course the yellow anaconda. A couple amphibians. We've got the golden poison dart frog and the Goliath frog, and finally we also have a green iguana just at the bottom here. Of course, this being a tropical house, I wanted to include a bunch of these tropical animals. I really love these exhibit animals. I think they're a great part of the game. Definitely not used super often by a lot of people, which is understandable because of course they're not quite as dynamic as the habitat animals, but I still think they're really cool and I really like using them. And I mean, they don't do an awful lot, but they're still very nice to look at, and it's really fun building these kind of like naturalistic looking terrarium style kind of enclosures for them. So you can see I'm using a lot of these faux rock pieces to kind of just build a really interesting looking exterior. So it's like you're walking through a cave and you can look into these little windows and you can see all these cool animals. Besides these animals, I'm also making a little area for the diamondback terrapin, which is another member of the Aquatic Pack DLC. So that was the exhibit animal we got there, and you'll see that one later towards the later part of this video. And that one is going to be kind of closer towards the top of the tropical house, facing where the caiman kind of overhang is. There's going to be a lot of like jumping back and forth between different parts of today's build, because there is a lot of like building work I need to do on different parts of the tropical house, because it is quite a big build. I need to like add walls here, I need to add like a roof over most of this area. There's just a lot to be doing, and I'm going to be doing it kind of on and off between doing other things as we go along, so it will be a bit of a disjointed build, but I think it turns out really cool in the end. And overall I'm very happy with how the tropical house turned out. I think it looks really good. The way, you know, I've said I kind of feel like it's finished. It's not completely finished, and that's because I think I might even extend the tropical house further to include some of the more, some of the other tropical animals that I'm planning on including. Things like the saltwater crocodile. I think I'm going to include the pangolins. A few others really. There's quite a decent amount of animals I can include. The interesting thing is that I thought at the start of this whole October Lake build I was going to focus primarily on cold weather animals, but then we've jumped into building a giant tropical house, so I guess that didn't work out. Up here actually, you may notice I've put two of these exhibits very close together, and these are for the yellow anaconda. And I wanted to try and get the illusion these are one big habitat instead of two smaller ones. It kind of works. You can still sort of see the glass that divides it, but I don't know, overall I think if you look at it from the right angle, it does look like it's just one singular exhibit with two yellow anacondas in there. Not that I would recommend cohabbing reptiles in general. Most reptiles don't really benefit from living together, and they prefer being solitary, but some reptiles are fine with it. In fact, if you go to a lot of zoos, a lot of the larger constrictors, you will see them in habitats with multiple of their species. They don't really benefit from it, but they also probably don't have that many negative effects from it either, so it's kind of like they're kind of indifferent to each other really, as far as I know anyways. I could be wrong, so if you are a zookeeper with more experience, please do let me know if I am mistaken in that regard. I'm here just adding more of these faux branches and the faux rocks just to, you know, make it look a bit more interesting around there, and of course just tidying up the area when it comes to the little signs at the bottom for what the animals are. And I realized we have some space on top of these exhibits, so I decided to turn that kind of space into a planter, kind of a staggered planter, so that we can, you know, show off a bit more of these tropical plants that we have in here. I'm going to end up using the rhubarb plant a lot because the giant rhubarb looks amazing. It's definitely one of my favorite plant additions with this new DLC. I think it might have come with a free update actually, but I'm not sure. And you can never tell what comes with the free update and what comes with the DLC, besides the main animals, of course. But I think the rhubarb plant is absolutely brilliant. Really love how it looks. And because we're adding in planters up here, I decided to put in a glass ceiling so that they can get plenty of sunlight as well. And they're not, and also to lighten up the area as a whole. It's nice to have some natural light in here, especially in a tropical house that is so sealed up because we need to be climate controlled. I think it's nice to have a little bit of additional UV light basically to kind of get a bit more, just a bit more sunlight in here. Using those fan palms from the Australian pack release, that was really good. And of course the rhubarbs, they look so good. I love the texture on the leaves. It's a really nice matte texture. Here I'm using the water bananas. Those are also really great plants. One of my favorite things whenever we get new DLC is the new foliage. Hugely underrated part of the new DLCs, I think. The new foliage, they always knock it out of the park. It's really good stuff and lots to use. In fact, I wanted to use more of the new foliage. We got like lipstick palms and stuff like that, but it just didn't work, and I wanted to kind of keep it to a relatively minimal plant palette here because, again, we're not in a tropical biome, and as much as I want the tropical house to be like more humid, more specifically controlled for these kind of plants, it wouldn't be, I don't know, it doesn't feel right to have loads of different tropical plants. So I try to keep it a relatively minimal selection. Continuing on, just me finishing up the roof there. There will be a lot of roof work in this video. Here's the thing with roofs on big buildings like this. It can get very bland very quickly. So if you're using just like, a straight level roof or an angled roof, it gets very boring very quickly. So you need to kind of stagger your roof or add in elements to make it look interesting. It is one of those weird things where in real life you do have lots of roofs which are just plain like roofs without any like staggering or anything like that. But in the game it just looks a bit better if you add a bit more interest. Here you can see me start work on the diamondback terrarium. These guys are so cute. I got some nice real close-ups of them later in the video for you guys. They are so adorable. I love them. A great addition in terms of exhibit animals, and also I think it just opens up the doors to more aquatic exhibits in the future. Maybe some fish tanks, some other aquarium type things like that. More aquatic animals like sailfin dragons or like other small turtles. Maybe things like axolotls or, just loads of little aquatic things basically. And it's nice that we have like that full range that we can explore now. Just tidying up the corners with these 4 branch pieces again. And just adding in a little bit of decoration around the sides with these little they're called wood panels I think in the game, but they the ones which have like foliage on them. Again, great addition with the DLC. That's just me looking at the turtle for a little bit. They are so cute, these diamondback terrapins. I love them. Great addition. Now I realize the whole building doesn't look super well supported, so in a second I'm going to start adding in some girders and some rebar just to make it look a bit better, a bit more well supported. And up here just tidying up some of the areas underneath the roofs just to make them look, again, well supported and completely, solid. Here's me starting up work with the rebars and the girders. I love the fact that they just snap into place if you turn on the position snap, so it makes things a lot easier for me. Don't have to like line them up specifically. And just putting them throughout the tropical house to make it look like, it is well supported. And I will like have bits that descend and go straight into the concrete pieces, so again, looks like it is sturdy and this building's not going to fall on your head. By the time it's finished, it kind of gives me like warehouse vibes. It looks like this might have been like a repurposed warehouse at some point, so that could be a backstory for this, who knows. I'm always thinking of ways to kind of incorporate the way these buildings and exhibits look into the lore of the parks that I'm building in. So maybe this was a repurposed warehouse, but I do think it looks really nice at the end. I would like a bit more color, so I might come back in here at some point and add a few more like little colorful elements to the tropical house as a whole. Maybe like some of those new mural pieces that look really good. Maybe I can add them on some of the walls. And now here's me, I wanted a big centerpiece for this raised ceiling with the glass on the top. I wanted like something that would have maybe lights on it or something like that. So first off, I tried with these wooden poles, but I think they looked a bit odd and I wasn't really feeling it, so I do scrap this and start again. So I get rid of these wooden poles completely, just wasn't feeling them. I tried these metal poles, but not working for me. So I ended up using these rope pieces. I wish we had pieces like these that weren't rope, like maybe made out of like wire or cord or something. Just because I'm not super fan of, I'm not a big fan of the rope texture when I'm not using it as rope. Like when I am using it as rope, it looks great, but like when I'm losing it like here, I would have loved it if they would come in like a matte black or something like that. It would just fit a lot better. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have these ropes dangling down, and then I'm going to use these spherical lights to kind of string across in kind of a random pattern, some of the big ones, some of the little ones, to kind of look like, I don't know, a nice little centerpiece of this whole thing. Make it look almost like stars or, you know, something like that. And I think it ends up looking pretty nice, especially at night. I do a lot of lighting in the tropical house. A lot of it I do off screen, so you don't really see it, but I do a surprising amount of lighting in here because I usually don't do lighting in Planet Zoo, but the lighting engine is phenomenal. It looks so good at night. Like, if you guys have played the game and you play at night, like right there, like I've just done this brief test and it looks so good at night. So in today's cinematics, you will see a lot of different lighting conditions. Primarily, you're going to see a lot of the nighttime lighting and of course the daytime, but also you can see what it looks like when it's rainy, because I do turn on the rain briefly just to see how it looks. By the way, apologies if you can hear that in the background. Someone across the road has just decided to start drilling into the wall for some reason. And could you please not? Because I am trying to record a YouTube video. Please. Please stop. They're not stopping. They probably can't hear me. Because they're drilling so loud. I mean, yeah. So yeah, if you can hear that, apologies. Here's me adding more lights onto the roof of the warehouse, of course. I'm calling it a warehouse now. It's not. It's the tropical house. But yeah, I'm just adding in lights, again touching up some of the roofs and the walls on the corners here. I still don't know how I feel about these slate roofs. I quite like the fact that they're recolorable, but I feel like the tiles are a little bit big for my taste. That's why I kind of still prefer the basic slate wall, the non-recolorable one. But I mean, it's not bad. I still quite like it. And I think it works well for this build in particular. Now this corner here, I didn't know what to do, so if you know, when you don't know what to do, just add a planter. So I've added in another staggered planter like the one inside the lemur habitat. So again, with the somewhat brutalist theme of the very sharp edges. And I've realized as I'm going forward here, I realized very quickly that there are way too many sharp lined edges here in this build. There's too many squares, too many triangles, and we needed something to counteract that. And in a bit, you're going to see how I do that. It's via the use of the one shape I did mention, the circle. So you're going to see me add in like this really nice curved glass structure, which I think looks really good and really like brings the whole tropical house together in a really cohesive way. It just really balances out all the sharp edges with a nice curve, and I think it looks so good. I'm really happy with how it turned out. As we go through as well, you can see just how the habitats have been so far. The caiman one, the lemur one, they both look pretty good in this house. I think they fit in really well with the new aesthetic as well that we're putting up here. And in a bit you'll also see, like, well, towards the end anyways, I'm closing up the wall towards the top end of the tropical house. And later on I think I might extend the tropical house out that way, which is where I'll probably add some of the new animals. And here's me just checking out my caimans, seeing how they're doing. And in a second, I think we will get started on the big circular structure that I mentioned a second ago. Just in a second, basically, because right now I'm just faffing about. There we go. Okay, so using this technique, so if you're familiar, this is how you make circular structures. Use the mud pillar as a base, and then you can rotate things around it, basically. The angle at which I'm rotating these glass pieces isn't quite 15 degrees, it's maybe about 7.5, maybe 8 degrees, so it's just about halfway. And then after that I just had to try and like figure out how to rotate this thing so it would fit properly. It took me a few tries so that they would fit together, but I think it looks really good where it is. And of course I'll have to add a roof onto that in a second, but I think it works out really well. And I realized the easiest way to do this is just to delete 2 of the sides and then rotate it again, but me being an idiot, I just didn't realize. There we go. I finally realized how to do it, and that's me just rotating it just about into place. Of course, when you do angle things like this, the glass pieces start overlapping near the bottom, but that's not a big deal, I don't think. I think it looks okay, and that's just me messing about again. I think it does look really nice here. I like the fact that it overlooks the rest of the park, so you get a really nice view of the rest of the park from in there while you're looking at the Cayman. And here's me just adding in that corner wall. Again, because I'm using these angled pieces, I had to like finagle it a little bit. Adding in a corner roof piece here, which I think looks quite nice. Finishing up the walls on the inside. Here's me messing around with these pieces and trying to get a good angle on them. It took me a second. I first just overlapped the pieces so I could get an idea of how close they needed to be, and then I will just angle them 15 degrees as I did before, and they fit pretty well. So it ends up looking like a very nice clean corner here, which I think it looks really good, which I was very surprised looked really good because I didn't think it would work. I'm not very good at like the whole angle thing. I like doing angled buildings, but I have no idea how they work, so it just takes a lot of trial and error for me. Using more of the faux rocks as kind of real rocks, I guess, to balance out the building so it doesn't look like it's about to teeter over the edge of the cliff, basically. Here's me also adding in a little bit of a roof for the glass structure. Just putting glass pieces directly on top of each other and then angling them downwards 15 degrees. Maybe 75 degrees actually, I have no idea. 15, 30, 45... 60, 75, yes. Okay, yep, that's about it. Here's me just adding in the floor. Again, these plaster pieces can be very useful. I use them loads in Sannikov Land, my other Planet Zoo build. Please do check that out if you haven't, actually. That is kind of like my pride and joy in terms of like stuff I've built in Planet Zoo, and I will be returning to that in the not too distant future. I'm just really interested in October Lake right now because I've got loads of ideas for this biome and these animals. But I will return to Sannikov Land before long, and I think one of the things we're gonna do in that park is revamp some of the old habitats that I'm not as fond of anymore, and try like some new techniques and stuff like that. So yeah, look forward to that, guys. Here, just curving these to match the edges. Unfortunately, it's not super easy to get things like that clean and nice, like as clean as I might like. So adding some foliage on the outside really helps cover up some of the little mistakes, basically. And using bamboo on this building, like chef's kiss. Bamboo is such a great tool in this game, works in almost all biomes really well, and just really adds a lot of flair to whatever building or habitat or anything you're working on. It just looks really, really good. Couldn't recommend it enough. Always use bamboo. Here's me messing around with the wood again, trying to make it look clean but not succeeding very well. I end up just messing with it a bit more and pushing the wall in just to neaten things up. But yeah, that's basically it as far as the large portion of today's build goes. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. It is a shorter one than usual. Again, we don't have a big habitat to be working on today, that's why it's a bit shorter. And also I'm trying to record some of these videos in advance a little bit more, so maybe, no promises, but I'm going to try and get a bit more of basically just more videos out if I can do, because right now my schedule is once a week. Right now it is of course the holiday break from university, so I don't have much else to do. Next term things might get a bit more hectic for me again, so hopefully recording videos in advance is going to allow me to keep up my video upload schedule and allow me to actually play some Planet Zoo, because the thing is, as stressful as university gets, Planet Zoo never feels stressful for me. I just enjoy playing it, and making the videos always feels like a nice little escape from reality for a while, so always very happy to do it. And I need to make sure that I don't get overwhelmed at university basically, and this is a good way to do it. So gotta make sure I make time for it, and hopefully if I line up my upload schedule well enough, I can hopefully maintain that going forward and get you guys the videos you want to watch while also maintaining my sanity. On the top of the roof, you may have noticed, by the way, just quick addition, that I added on a lot of these rooftop pieces like fans and air conditioning units and stuff. Those are all from the workshop. You can find the link in the description. I can't remember who made them right now, but if you go on the workshop, the author's name will be right there. And these are so useful in making a rooftop look more realistic, so would highly recommend. Anyway, that's pretty much it for today's episode. Again, I hope you've really enjoyed today's episode. I know it's not like a full habitat, but I hope you still had fun with it. I think the tropical house turned out really good, and I'm really enjoying it. I took a lot of really cool cinematics, so I hope you enjoyed those as well. And yeah, I hope you guys have all had a really great holiday season. Hope you've all, given the condition the world's in, I hope you've managed to spend some time with loved ones, maybe taken a bit of break from the world around us at large. And I just, I hope things are well with you. I hope you're all taking care. And with that all being said, thanks so much for watching. Like the video if you did like it. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what your favorite part of today's build was. Subscribe if you want to see more Planet Zoo content. And I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.